My buddy and I were just talking about beef brisket. He's from Texas. He loves it cooked in a big barbecue pit all day long. We're gonna try to achieve that same thing here today. We're using our oven. We're gonna use this Asian barbecue sauce here. One of our barbecue sauces, chef developed. It's gonna throw a little bit of an Asian twist to a Texan favorite. All right, the next thing we need to grab is this orange ginger borsari salt. The nice thing about this stuff, it's actually a cured salt where they cure the ginger, orange, garlic, herbs in there. Rather than use freeze-dried, it's gonna be the perfect complement for our barbecue brisket. Now for the star of the show. We're gonna get a beef brisket here. This is actually the thing they make corned beef out of. And the nice thing about this guy is that it's got a nice marbling on the one side and a small fat cap on the top, which is actually going to render out and give us a lot of good moisture for the entire 8-hour cooking process that we're going to put this through. I'm really excited about this. So let's go cook. All right, we're going to do the Asian barbecue brisket. Now, in order to get this thing a really nice flavor and penetrate, we're actually going to have to marinate this overnight. So I'm going to make the marinade. And what I'm going to use is our Asian barbecue sauce. And at this point, I'm going to use half a bottle of that. I'm going to reserve the other half, and I'll tell you what to do that in a minute. And then I'm going to go with half a beer. And I'm pretty confident you guys know what to do with the rest of that beer. We're going to mix that marinade just real quick. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is come over to the beef here, and I've actually scored on the top. I'm going to show you the rest of the way I do it. I do it from the fat cap, right? And actually what we're doing is we're making some score marks about 1/4 inch deep inside this, kind of like you would see a ham with those crisscross marks on the top. And what that's allow us to do is actually have some of that flavor penetrate and some of that fat actually render out throughout that cooking process. And now I take 2 tablespoons on each side about of that orange ginger salt. We're going to rub that in there. Use that 4 tablespoons total. All right, we're going to rub that all in there, and then bring it over to a roasting pan that you're going to roast it in. This way you don't have to move it afterwards. And actually going to pour that marinade over the top of this. And get it on there. Make sure it's all covered even. And then at that point, what we're going to do, we're actually going to refrigerate this. This goes in the refrigerator overnight, and this is really going to allow that flavor to penetrate. Salt's going to pull the moisture out, and it's going to drive a lot of that marinade back inside of this. It's going to be beautiful for tomorrow. Let me get cleaned up here. And all right, now I've got one already done I had from overnight, and I got it right here. And the nice thing about this recipe, I mean, it's super easy. All you have to do at this point is take the plastic wrap off. I'm going to put this in a preheated 275 degree oven. It's 275 for 8 hours. Now it seems like a long time. You're going to leave the cover off, but anybody who knows about barbecue, low and slow is the way to go. This is going to make sure it's a really nice, tender barbecue brisket. All right, so it's been about 7 hours. We got 1 more hour to go, but what I want you to do at this point is actually take this guy out of the oven. It's nice and caramelized on the top, just the way I like it, but I'm going to have you take that other half of the barbecue sauce and just brush that right on. Spread this on there, right? Get a pastry brush, just brush it right on. What this does, it's going to create a nice glaze. If we had this full strength, more sugar barbecue sauce in there in the beginning, it would get too dark on the top. So now we just want a glaze, so I've just brushed that other half of the barbecue sauce on there, and we're going to go back in the oven for 1 more hour. All right, about an hour later, we're ready to go. So, take this baby out. This looks beautiful. Wow. So, now that we have this out here, I'm going to have you rest this for about 20 minutes or so. I use 2 pairs of tongs to get this guy out because it's really nice and tender. Let that drip for a second and come over to your cutting board. And if you notice on this, you're going to see that there's some grain on this, and I really want to make sure that you cut against that grain. So you're going to kind of eyeball that guy up first. You're going to see lines of grain running throughout this, so you need to make sure that you cut against it. It's actually going to make it feel a little bit more tender. So I take this guy and actually come into it and start slicing it. This looks fantastic. Super tender, falling apart a little bit. I'm actually going to serve this with, perfectly pairs well with this Korean bean sprout recipe. Find it on Wegmans.com, just some toasted sesame seeds. The Asian barbecue has a little bit of sesame oil in that as well. So a little bit of this barbecue right on the top, maybe some of the drippings on there, a little bit of sauce. Great for your guests at the house, but you know what? For me, before it hits the table, I always like a little Scooby snack.